BS Show, Season 5, Episode 2. Sean Gancar's back with Justin Chasmar again, and we return Adam Tynan after taking the season premiere off last week in Italy. We got him back right in time, too, because, boys, it is literally just like that. We are literally 48 hours away from watching the first ball get kicked off to start the season in a great game that should be between the Rams and the Bills. Chaz, we went through all our stuff last week. Adam, you're back here to join us. Football's coming, boys. How are we feeling?
Yeah, boys, we appreciate the PTO last week in Italy. You know, it's I know it's season 5, episode 1 we missed, but it's on me. I'll be back ready to go. Fantasy weekend is always fun, and the fact that we no longer have a Sunday without NFL football till February, it's just good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we said it last week, Gank. As soon as the fantasy drafts are over, it gets real for us. And I mean, we're 2 days away from football in what could be a Super Bowl preview. And I mean, all the fantasy teams are drafted now. It's just time to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, teams are drafted. We were all together yesterday. The drinks flow, players fly on the board. Just a good day in general. And like I say, once those teams are up there and they're in, and you start crunching matchups and numbers, these 2 days hype leading up to it, there really is nothing better. But with that said, Chaz, we came on last week. We essentially gave our season preview here, gave our Super Bowl picks and everything. Adam, you were away in Italy. Me and Chaz both have the Bucks out of the NFC. I have the Colts, Chaz.
You boys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, lost a little audio there. So I guess I'll go. You guys want all the division winners, wild card, and then Super Bowl predictions that we're looking for?
Yep.
All right. So AFC, like I said, pre-show, little chalk for me. I that wasn't too hard for me to pick, in my opinion, besides we had one wild card. But, I like the Bengals to repeat, or the Bengals to win the AFC North. I just think Joey B's got those guys cooking, and they're ready to go. I love the Colts in the South. I think the Titans are going to have a down year, unfortunately, for them. I think they just lost a lot. And the Colts with Matt Ryan, he's the real deal. AFC East, Buffalo Bills, they're a wagon. I don't see them not winning the division. They're just a great football team, a well-coached, Josh Allen killing it. I like the Chiefs out of the AFC West. Patty Mahomes, Andy Reid, stick with who gets the job done every year. Ravens, first wild card team, very close to winning the division, but Lamar bounces back and John Harbaugh bounces back, and they find a way in. I like the Chargers. They lost a few close games last year, but Herbert kind of takes that leap, at least fine. I don't think they win 13-14, but they find a way to win 10 and get it sneak in. And then maybe a little more controversial one. I like the Broncos. Russ wins games. The dude, when he's a starting quarterback, just finds a way to give his team 9 to 10 wins almost every year. So I'm going to take him to find a way in the playoffs first year in Denver. NFC wise, Packers repeat per usual. I'm not crazy enough to pick the Bears. Let's not get insane. I know the Vikings are getting some love. What'd you say?
Bears are coming in last, Bull.
I hope they beat the Lions out. Jesus, they might though. I like the Bucks. Tom Brady, not a very difficult division in my opinion, so it's the real deal for him, and he's going to cruise to another championship. NFC East, this was a tough one for me, but I just think the Cowboys are a regular season team, and they'll get the job done and still win it. Rams, again, no doubt. They got that culture going, and they have the guys to do it. Niners, Gank, you said it pre-show. As the first wild card, they find a way, winning formula to win games. Wouldn't be shocked if they missed it because there's a lot of noise in that organization right now, but about that time. I'm going with my Saints. I was big on them last year. They just missed the playoffs, but I just think they have a good organization. They find a way to sneak in. And the Vikings is my final wild card team, unfortunately. They're just loaded. They're a talented squad. First-year coach will have a little bit of success. And then my Super Bowl prediction, Tom Brady definitely goes back to Super Bowl. I mean, it's just that year. He missed it last year. He's going to the championship game at the very least. and I like him against the Ravens. But Chazzy, unfortunately, I think your Ravens lose to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Ravens popular pick here.
Smart man.
I mean, I don't hate it. They were arguably the best team in the AFC before Lamar went down last year. So
Yes, they were.
it's definitely hard to hate a pick like that. But that said, one thing you're different with us is your NFC East. We all know I've been a big Cowboy rider, but me and Chaz are in the same boat in the NFC East, where we think the Eagles are just simply the best team in that division. It seems the best roster, and we also agree too where we think it goes as far as Jalen Hurts takes them. But if he takes that step up, I think that's a team you definitely have to watch this year with that
Yeah,
roster.
no, I agree with that completely. I'm not sold on that Cowboys pick. I think it comes down to the last week, and then one of them squeaks it out. But the Cowboys win the regular season. That's not the issue. So
that's true. That's true. All right. So there you have it. I mean, we got all three of us on the Bucks here, on the NFC, two on the Ravens. I'm on the Colts, which in a year where I think the NFL, we just talked pre-show too, could have double-digit teams win the Super Bowl. It's crazy that we mentioned three different teams for even playing in that game with the Bucks, Ravens, and Colts. But be ready, wild season. It starts Thursday night, and how we always start, Chaz, he is back. It is Gonzo time. Thursday night football. You said it at the start of this episode here. Potential Super Bowl preview here for sure. I mean, you got the defending champs here. You got a Buffalo team that really was all of seconds away from probably making the Super Bowl last year, too. So, Chaz, let's get to the boy Gonzo. Rams 2.5-point underdogs at home here. Over 52.5. Where's Gonzo going?
Yeah, I mean, this is the fifth year of this show, and Gonzo has never had a losing season picking. So I definitely wanted him to go one way on this game. He did go the way I wanted. He is taking the Rams plus 2.5 at home. I am all over the Rams in this game. I think the Bills are, don't get me wrong, they're a good team. They have probably everyone is going to pick them out of the AFC. Definitely probably the one seed. This game, though, I mean, the Rams are at home. They just won the Super Bowl, getting 2.5 points. It's definitely a fishy line. I mean, the Rams lost their offensive coordinator. I get that. Stafford's elbow injury, people are probably a little scared of. But they're still the Rams. They still got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side of the ball. They added Allen Robinson on the offensive side of the ball. Excited to see what he does in that offense. And I think the Bills, I mean, I think they're going to be a good team this year, but having to go to LA opening night is going to be really tough. They're a good team. Josh Allen's really good. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take the better defense, and that's what the Rams here at home. I think the whole public is on Buffalo, which is why I like the Rams here. So I'm going to go with Gonzo. I'm going to take the Rams to win this game outright. I'm going to go 31-24 Rams.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to fade right off the bat in Gonzo. Hate to do that to start the season. It crushes me to do that to start the season. And the one thing I am going to agree with you on is that the whole public does feel to be on Buffalo, and that does scare me. With that said, I don't think this line really is fishy. I think Buffalo is a better team. The Rams have all their pieces on defense. You know, your Jalen Ramsey's, your Aaron Donalds, and it is very good. But with that said, I don't even know if they do have the better defense than Buffalo does too. When it's all said and done, Buffalo seems like probably the best all-around team, maybe on paper going into the season, and I kind of just trust them more. I trust Josh Allen more. It is a home game in LA, but I think any home game in LA is never really a home game for LA. I mean, they can't sell out their stadium with their own fans. You see them play what feels like multiple road games in their own stadium, and I'm sure Buffalo will travel somewhat well. They're not going to travel like you get with the Green Bays and the Pittsburgh, but I mean, I'm not expecting a hype atmosphere for the Rams in this one, even coming off the Super Bowl. And I just think Buffalo is a better team. I do love the Rams defense. I do think the Bills defense is very good too. And I'll take the Bills offense with Josh Allen in the pocket over the Rams offense to get the job done at the end of the game. Similar score. I got under half a point here, though. Give me the Bills 28-24.
Yeah, I mean, you guys covered most of the bases. I don't think that the Rams will come out flat. I think they're ready to play at home. A lot of momentum. And if they're getting 2.5, I'm going to take the defending champs at home opening night to take that. That's just my thought process here. I will say the thing I like here more so is maybe the under. I just feel like offenses may struggle a little bit, come out a little bit slow where defenses can figure them out in the beginning. So I'm going to take the Rams to win outright as well. In a close one, fun one, maybe last second field goal, but I like Rams 27-24.
Man,
And Gank, you're a fool for fading Gonzo early. Let's not get crazy.
Gonzo week one was the most painful thing.
Fool.
Yeah, some would say that's crazy.
When you said you loved it, I pretty much had the feeling that he was fading the public on that, and you were kind of all in.
I'm all in. I
knew. With that said, when I bet this game come Thursday, I know it's only 2.5, but I probably won't even touch that. I think the way to do it is pick your winner and play the money line. Even the Bills on the money line as a favorite, they're sitting at -132 right now. So that to me is just a way to play if you're the gamble it. All right, let's get into Sunday here. We're going to start off with the team that the Rams beat in the Super Bowl last year, the Bengals. 6.5-point favorites at home against the Steelers. Over under 44.5. And while I do love what the Bengals did this all season, I think they did improve the offensive line, which everybody knew watching the Bengals last year. That was their biggest question. The fact that they got to that Super Bowl with the offensive line play was incredible in my eyes. Says a lot about Joe Burrow and the rest of that team and how good it is. With that said, I still feel like this line's a little too big here. I do think the Bengals are going to beat the Steelers at home, but and while the Steelers have question marks, especially at quarterback, we can't take away from how good that defense is. That defense is too good to and gives them a shot to pretty much stay in any game where if they're getting 6.5 against almost anyone, I'll probably take it because that's always a big number. So give me the Bengals to come back out here, win the game at home. They are a better team, but the Steelers defense helps keeps it in that 6.5 number. I'll go Bengals 21-17.
Yeah, Gang. I mean, I'm right there with you for almost everything you said. I just feel like this is one of Chazzy's lines, but AFC North game, 6.5 points is just a lot. And opening day, Steelers are going to come to play. I think people are sleeping on Steelers because they, have a rough few years in the playoffs. But, man, it's still Pittsburgh Steelers. They still come out to play, and it's a divisional game. So I'm not going to take the Bengals to win by a touchdown or more. So similar to what you said, maybe it's a little the under because the Steelers defense is just that good. But I'll take the Bengals to win. Mitch loses his first game starting, caused a little controversy. No surprise. I'll go 23-17 Cincy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think this line is crazy big, and I know there's a stat going around that the Bengals ended last year going 8-0 against the spread. So I think the public is probably going to be back in the Bengals here. But Genki hit on it. The Bengals' offensive line is still not great, and the strength of the Steelers is their defensive line and being able to get to the quarterback. So I think they're going to be able to do that. And Joe Burrow didn't play at all in the preseason. He had surgery over the offseason. So, I mean, we'll see what he looks like early. But AFC North, AT, you touched on it. But, I mean, these games, no matter how good or bad teams are in the AFC North, it's usually 3 or 3.5 points. And 6.5 is just a huge number. I get the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, but they're going to win this game, but 6.5 is too much. So I'll go Bengals 20-16.
I mean, second most exciting division in football this year. So.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
And it's crazy the difference too. Look at the AFC West, Chaz. I know we talked about last year. Like, you see AFC West matchup, you want those guys in fantasy. You want shootouts. You go to the AFC North, it's old school and dogfights coming at you. Just two totally different, but two of what I think everybody would almost agree on the two best divisions in football. All right, let's head back to the NFC here. Guys, I'm going to go to you first, especially preseason, because I don't get to hear the radio in Philly here as much as you do. And me and you have actual hype on the Eagles this year, preseason. Adam, I know you tend to agree there too. They were 3.5 point favorites heading to Detroit to start their season. Over under 48.5. We love to rip Philly radio. This feels like the year they're allowed to have hype. What are they saying out there, Chaz?
Yeah, I mean, last year I feel like we were probably two of the biggest Eagle criticizers, and in fairness, they weren't a good team last year. But this year, I mean, me and you said it last week. We both like them, and Philly radio is fully aboard that they're going to win the East. A lot of 13-4 predictions, and honestly, when you look at their schedule, it's not out of this world. I don't think that's going to happen, but they are going to be a good team. And like we said, it's going to be how far Jalen Hurts takes them, because I really like their defense because they made a lot of additions. Obviously, they got A.J. Brown. Running back is going to be the question mark for him, but when Jalen Hurts runs that much, you can kind of, take place of that running back. So this is an interesting game, though. The Lions, I said this before the show, there's 10 home underdogs in week one. Absolutely absurd. The Lions, the hard knock team, I think is going to get a lot of public money here, especially with the hook. I'm going to go with the Birds here. I think they make a statement win. They went to Detroit last year and mopped up the Lions. I just think the Eagles are going to come out here. Jalen Hurts is going to play pretty well. The offense is going to play well. That defense is going to show, I think, the league that they're for real. And I mean, the Lions, Jared Goff, don't really scare me. I know they went out and got some playmakers. They have DeAndre Swift and everything like that. But give me the Birds here. Pretty easy. I'm going to go 31-20.
Yeah, I mean, this line confuses me. I guess the only thing is the Lions were in so many games last year and lost such close ones. But roster-wise, you look at this, and the Eagles just have a much better team. And Lions get some hype because Hard Knocks, blah, blah, this and that. Dan Campbell going crazy. But the Eagles are a better team. They're going to win this game. I would love nothing more if the Lions won this outright, just to hear Chazzy then telling us about the Eagles radio. But that being said, you got to give Eagles credit. They're a good roster. They're a good team. They'll run the ball, play good defense, and win this game pretty easily. I don't love the points here, but I got 24-17 Philly.
Yeah, I'm with you guys too. I'm Philly with the ease in this one. Chaz brought it up a thing too. There is a hard knocks effect with the Lions. I do think the Lions are better than what they were last year. I also think they're better than their 3-13-1 record that they had last year too. But with that said, I mean, I love Philly's roster. I'm going to be saying it all year. I think it's loaded. I think they're simply the better team here. I do think there will be some week one rust, typical in the NFL. You'll see that a lot. But with that said, I think Philly overpowers this team almost everywhere in every part of the game. The Lions defense, Aiden Hutchinson, it helps, it improves, but I do think I don't trust really much about their offense or golf. I still think they're going to struggle to score. And while Philly may show some early rust and struggles on the offensive side too, they still do more than enough to cover this 3.5 here. Probably a boring game to watch, but if you're a Philly fan, you're gonna feel okay with it because you're gonna go on the road and win comfortably. I got the Eagles winning this one 23-13. Next we go to the AFC South, which so last week the Colts are a big team for me this year, guys. So every time a Colts game pops up, it's either going to burn me. Hopefully they love me. Hopefully they back me in my faith here. They were 7.5 point road favorites. Another home dog here, big spread too with it at 7.5. Over under 45.5 in Houston here. Said it last week. Balled up on the show already. I'm a big Colts guy this year. I love this team. I think their defense is highly underrated. I think Matt Ryan is obviously a huge upgrade from Carson Wentz. I mean, Wentz lost 2 games to the Jaguars last year. That cost him the playoff spot. And when you look at his numbers, he actually still had a decent year number wise. And I think Matt Ryan can only do better with that. And he's not going to lose to the Jaguars, even though I do think the Jaguars will be a better team this year than they were last year. So, as much as I do think 7.5 points is a lot, the Texans, Texans can be a team we're talking about picking number 1 overall next year, and I'm that high on the Colts, so I'm going to lay that 7.5. I'm going to say they get this win pretty easy on the road here and walk out. Like I said, I'm big on the Colts this year. I'll keep riding them. I'll keep this short and sweet. Give me the Colts 28-17 on the road.
Yeah, I mean, ever since you guys predicted last year that the Jags were going to like beat them, or the Texans are going to win the first game of the year and then lose like 14 straight. I can't bet the AFC South. Normally, I don't like it, so I'm going to stay away from this game. Just putting that out there because it's sad. But my thing here is JT. Hopefully, he's eating. I mean, I don't know if the Texans can stop the run. I doubt it. So I assume the Colts go out and take care of business here, win by double digits. I don't like the AFC South, so and the hook scares me, really scares me for a backdoor cover. But I'm with you, Gank. I mean, I think the Colts take care of business here, and the Texans, again, aren't a very good football team, and the Colts really are. So they start off the season right. JT has a big day. I'm going to go 27-17 Indy.
Yeah, I'm with you guys here too. And the 7.5 is very scary when you look at a divisional game here. But I'm with you guys. I think the Colts are really good, and I think the Texans, although we did predict that they were going to win last year, week 1, and they did. I mean, I know they're at home, but I think it's going to be a lot of JT. And like Gank said, Matt Ryan is a huge upgrade for that offense, and I expect that offense to click. I wouldn't be shocked if this game's a complete blowout. But, I mean, the Texans, you got their week 1 win last year. Unfortunately, this isn't going to happen this year. I'm interested to see Davis Mills sling the rock, how he looks, because he looked okay last year. But I'm with you guys. I think the Colts win this pretty easily. I'm going to go 31-13.
Ooh, that's a big day for JT.
And Muggle Pittman.
Sounds like a better day for Matt Ryan.
all the Pittman, baby. All the Pittman.
Listen, the boys can eat.
Fucking crushed me yesterday when you took Pittman. I really thought for sure, like, knowing that the quarterbacks and running backs were going to fly, that Pittman in like the 5th, maybe even 6th round would be there. But, I mean, I was taking him with my next pick until you took him before it got to me. But
a lot of people mad about that. A lot of the crowd was mad.
Yeah. He wasn't getting by me with the next pick. My next pick, anyway, which I don't know who is in between me. Duck and Joe.
Duck and Joe, yeah.
I would have got him. All right. Let's go to the NFC South here. Saints 5.5 point, another road favorite here. Thanks, Travis's favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons. Over under 42.5. Chaz, so we say right off the bat, what are we gonna do with the Atlanta Falcons this year, especially starting with this game?
Well, just for everyone that's watching, whatever I say about the Falcons, just do the opposite. So I guess I'll take this one first. And Adam's gonna be excited, but I'm gonna take the Falcons plus 5.5.
Let's go.
Yes. At home here. Divisional game. I think Jameis is gonna have a pretty good year, but I don't think week 1 coming off his injury, he's definitely gonna be a little shaky. And I mean, the Falcons, they are probably gonna be a really bad team, maybe the number 1 pick. Interested to see what week Desmond Ritter actually takes over, because I don't think Marcus Mariota is gonna be very good. But 5.5 at home here just feels like a lot. This is the worst team in the NFL because I can't ever get a read on them. So everyone take the Saints. I'm going to take the Falcons plus 5.5. I'll go Saints win 23-20.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about that. Now, don't forget, the Saints blew out the Packers week 1 in Lambeau last year. Don't forget. But I'm going to go.
5 touchdowns for 170 yards.
Yeah. They were just cooking until they got hurt. Now, I mean, the line scares me. I'll be the first to admit that because 5.5, I could easily see this being a 4-point game, divisional game. But I'm going to take the Saints to win and cover here, and not a big surprise. I just really think they're a loaded roster. And Chaz, like you said, the Falcons, they just don't have a good roster. I mean, they keep losing great players. Calvin Ridley leaves. Matt Ryan leaves.
Calvin Ridley, he didn't leave. He just gambled.
Yeah. Not playing. No, you just
Oh,
gamble. That's
Yo,
true.
maybe we can get him on the show this year.
Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, nah, that might not be a great idea. But no, I just the roster for the Falcons concerns me, and I think that they weren't a great team last year and lost a good amount of games. So Saints make a strong showing week one, come out hot and keep riding that for the year. I think their defense really, really stifles the Falcons here, and I like the Saints 24-14.
Yeah, this is I mean, we all know week one's one of the toughest when it comes to gambling, obviously. And this is one of those games I think you instantly stay away from as a gambler. But if I want to stick true to myself and my thoughts on these teams this year, I'm going to pick the Saints to win. I'm going to pick them to cover this 5.5 pretty easily. Adam, you brought up week one last year from Jameis. That's something I can't get overlooked. That was against a very good Packer team. And now you get the Falcons. And as much as I actually don't hate Mariota, this Falcon team has a lot of problems. Their defense isn't good too, and Jameis put up numbers with less than what he has on the offensive side of the ball this year too. You're getting Michael Thomas back, bringing in Chris Olave. You still have Alvin Kamara there, and against this Falcons defense, and I think it's just going to be brutal. I think the Saints are going to score enough points to cover 5.5. This game scares me a bit. It is a little fishy, but I don't have much other than that. Give me the Saints to win and cover here. I'll take them 24-14.
You guys are smart. Going the other way.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe this will be the year I read the Falcons like a book. Maybe I'll be really good this year.
Yeah, maybe.
I doubt.
Where the odds trash is 1-0 Falcon games next week.
Oh, if I am,
Jack,
you'll hear it.
well, I'm sure we will know.
I'm sure.
Here's the team you're supposed to know, and to be honest, I think you do the best when it comes to picking your own team compared to Adam with the Bears and me with the Giants. And
Yes.
here are your Ravens here. Another road favorite traveling to MetLife Stadium, play the Jets, 6.5-point favorites. Over under 44.5. I'm sure everybody here has them winning. Chaz, are they going to win and cover though?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely when I first saw it, I think the line opened like a month ago, probably like 4.5, and now it's all the way up to 6.5. Joe Flacco, Ravens legend, is supposed to start against them. But like you guys, or like I said last week, the Ravens, I have incredibly high hopes this year for them. They are healthy, and I think they're going to win this week, and I think they're going to cover. Flacco, I mean, they said he had a really good preseason, but I'm a big believer in this Ravens defense this year too. They have all the pieces back, and I mean, if you're a serious Super Bowl contender, like, you should go to New York week one and take care of business. So they usually are notoriously really good in week one because they just followed up after the preseason. And we all know they don't lose in the preseason. So I'm going to take the Ravens here to win and cover, go 1-0, and hopefully, make a statement here over Joe Flacco and the Jets. So I'm going to go Ravens pretty easy. I'm going to go 31-10.
Yeah. That you want to go, Greg?
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of with him on this. I'm pretty quick on this one too. And you brought up my biggest thing too. I feel like the Ravens just come out week one and put up 40 plus points almost no matter who they're playing. And as much as I do think this Jet team is better than what we've seen in the past, they're still very young and a year or two away. And now you got a Raven team that is, they're in their window where if they got to win a Super Bowl, they got to do it probably within the next 2 or 3 years, you would think something along those lines. So I think the Ravens are come out, stay hot in week one like they have been. Shut down the Jets. Nothing bad to say about the Jets. I just think it's a tough week one matchup for them. And give me the Ravens to win. I do think they cover that 6.5 as well. It's probably might be the biggest blowout I pick all week too. And I hate to do it to the Jets because I do think they're coming up, but 34-10 Ravens.
Yeah, no need to repeat everything. I completely agree. Ravens, especially with the 7 hook, they're going to win by at least a touchdown, no doubt. With Joe Flacco starting, I mean, it just all makes sense. Ravens haven't lost a preseason game in 5 years. They're going to keep that little winning streak going they got for the preseason. So I'm going to take the Ravens to winning cover pretty easily. Nothing crazy here. Joe Flacco starting. That's all I've got to read. So I'll go 24-10. Baltimore.
All got the Jets scoring 10 points.
We got that Ravens defense.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I like that, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, time to get to your squad here. The Fish, 3.5-point favorites at home against Bill Belichick to start the season. The rare home favorite week 1 here. Over under 46.5 points. Adam, it's a new season. Your Dolphins had a huge off season. Now you're opening it up against Bill Belichick. How do you feel?
Oh, I like the Pats here. I just, especially with that hook, I feel like this game is a lot of times a field goal game, and it's close. And Belichick's going to scheme up something against Tua and the Dolphins offense. I think the Dolphins offense can be very good later on in the year, but they might struggle early. Here's some noise. Tua's a little worried. New guys just getting ready. So, I don't think the Fins are a terrible team this year. They're not the Fins I used to pick 3 years ago. That's for sure. And I just think Belichick week 1 finds a way to dial it up a bit. Ugly win for the Pats, nothing crazy, but that's just kind of how they are operating under these new guys. So I'm going to go 20-16 New England.
Yeah, I'm a big Dolphin hater this year. And a couple of years ago when Chaz was fading the Titans all year, even though they kind of kept winning until they got to the playoffs and really showed their true colors and maybe got spanked a little. I feel that same way about Miami. I'm going to be fading them a lot this year. They may go out and win some games, but when it's all said and done, push comes to shove, what you're actually playing for is on the line. The Dolphins ain't going to do there. They ain't going to get over the top, especially as long as Tua is their quarterback. He's a guy I don't really trust yet. He's underneath ball. I mean, that's all you're really getting from him. You've seen Jalen Waddle catch damn near 100 passes and is still fighting to break 1,000 yards. Throws like that, they don't do it for me. That's all I really see from him. It's a hard team for me to trust. With that said, though, I do think their defense isn't the worst. But I'm going to go with you here on this one, Adam. The hook scares me a lot. I do think the Dolphins find a way to beat New England at home because this has burned me before saying this, but I actually don't trust Belichick or this Pats team this year. I don't know what they have to show or prove, really anything. And it almost seems like a wash year coming for Belichick. So give me the Dolphins to win, but the hook scares me. I'll go 2017 Fins.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with AT here. I'm actually gonna take the Patriots to win too. I think it's a lot of pressure on the Dolphins for week 1. New coach. There's a lot of hype behind Tua. You make Tyreek Hill the highest paid receiver in NFL history. Then you make a few additions to the backfield. And you're at home here. I mean, you're supposed to be pretty good this year. And you have Bill Belichick on the other side coming in. Pats, weren't that great last year. They got into the playoffs. Obviously, they got murdered against the Bills. But Bill Belichick getting 3.5 points in a divisional game, I think it's really that simple. Whether it's at home or on the road. Too much expectations here for the Fins. I'm not high on them either this year, gang. And I think it's just a letdown spot week 1 where there's probably going to be a lot of people that are taking the Dolphins. So give me Belichick and the Pats to win it. I think it's ugly, but I think they get it done. I'm going to go 16-13.
16. I was thinking of a random ass score like that too.
A lot of field goals.
A lot of field goals.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get to one of the bigger games and storylines in week 1 here. Cleveland heading to Carolina. Carolina, another rare home favorite in week 1 here. They are a 1.5 favorite at home, over under 41.5. The whole Baker Mayfield thing in Carolina, of course, the NFL had to find a way to make it work just like this. But first game of his career outside of Cleveland, of course, against Cleveland. I will say this. I actually I'm starting to love the Baker Mayfield in Carolina thing. I mean, I never bought into Baker Mayfield as this great quarterback and don't think he is, but he has proven to us that with the right pieces, he can win games, can get your teams to the playoffs, and he does have a playoff win under his belt as well. And when you have guys like DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Christian McCaffrey, I do think there are offensive pieces there. And I think Carolina's defense, Adam, you seem to feel this way, or maybe it was me a few years ago. I hyped Carolina up. Maybe their defense too. I think it's a little underrated. And they play in a division where maybe there is a question mark outside the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady where they can steal some wins and get some games. So Carolina is a team as the season gets closer that I'm slowly starting to buy into. I'm not saying this team's going on a Super Bowl run or anything, but if they were to come out and win 8, maybe 9 games, it wouldn't shock me. And the Browns with no Deshaun Watson and Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback, just I can't see how they get it done here as much as I do like their defense. So give me Baker's revenge, the Panthers to win at home here. Got the game going slightly over the 41.5, 23-20 Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start early with saying this game's a toss-up of the week. Obviously, the line's close for a reason because there's so many storylines. To me, does Kevin Stefanski know Baker so well that he could just scheme him up and know all his weaknesses? Or does Baker with a chip on his shoulder come out and just, gash it up? I'm going to lean to the Panthers winning this game and Baker playing well just because Jacoby Brissett is not a really good NFL quarterback. And I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he was the reason they succeeded more than Baker when they had it. But I'm going to take the Panthers to win at home here. I think the Panthers, again, like you said, they'll start a little hot, win some games, but they are my pick, I think, to blow up and fire their coach like I pick every year, and I think that's my one. I'm looking around at the other ones, and this just seems like it because it really, unless they make the playoffs, I think Rule gets fired, and probably deservedly so. So that's my team. I'm looking through. That's the one. They got to make the playoffs in order to stay, and I just don't see it happening. So Panthers win this game, maybe start off a couple of wins, but they come back down to earth later in the season. I'll go Baker to win here, 24-20.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, and I think this is probably one of the hardest games to pick this week. But obviously, the Baker storyline. I'm gonna take the Panthers because of Baker. He got shafted, and there's really no other way to say it. And I think it's just a personal thing at this point. He's gonna come out. He's gonna play well. You see the over under 41.5. It's not going to be some shootout. It's going to be a lot of running. Nick Chubb probably will have like 30 carries this game. McCaffrey will have obviously a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I think the Panthers will. I think the Panthers will win it. Wouldn't be shocked even if it's a walk-off field goal or something like that. It's ugly, but I think the Panthers get it done. And McCaffrey, the over-under is 41.5. McCaffrey will still probably somehow have 30 fantasy points. I'll go Panthers 17-13.
I mean, Baker's first game in against the Browns, walk-off. The way the NFL drew it up, where it just happened to be week 1, too, walk-off field goal feels like it.
Yep.
Feels like that's exactly.
Yep.
They're down. Yeah, like they're down 1 with 2 seconds left, and they walk in. Something like that.
Yep.
All right, Adam. Time for your boys in Chicago. Another back to the home dog trend here. 6.5 point dogs at home. Over under 41.5. They are playing a 49er team that we have mentioned a couple times already during this show that they have a formula that seems to work. It's week 1. It's that formula to stay hot, and Gangster Bears.
Yeah, listen, the Bears are a bad team this year. I think that they are very close to a top pick, if not the top pick, if they played in it. Their division's not easy either. So one thing I will say is I guess Trey Lance is starting this game. One highlight I can see happening is him struggling a little to start. He's played a few games, but, it's NFL game 1 in Chicago. Going to be loud, bumping. Bears D isn't what it was, but they still got a few dudes that can play. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears cover here, kind of lose a tight one and keep it close. I have said this I think Fields is the real deal. Gank, I know you don't agree. Say what you want about Justin Fields, but the dude can play in big games. He's proven that. And I think he's going to come out ready to go this year. I think it's a close one. I do think the Bears will cover this one because of all the noise with the Niners, and Trey Lance may struggle a little bit. Wouldn't say it's necessarily a fun game to watch, but I'm gonna go 20-16 San Fran.
Well, there's something about Fields because yes, I still hate him. Yes, I still think he sucks. And I will say this: I don't think it's his fault, but you're a Bears fan. I think every Bears fan knows they're just not going to be good this year. So, like, what happens? Knowing that he's kind of set up to fail this year if he doesn't look good too, then how do we feel about Fields?
Yeah, no, it's a good. Yeah,
Not put in a spot to like look good. So,
yeah. No, it's true. I don't know because I agree. I don't think it's gonna be him. It's just he's not in a position to succeed. Their offense is worse than it was last year, and offensive line and receiver. So he's put up in a position to fail. But I don't know. I think he'll look good, but the Bears will look bad. I really do.
that'll be fine. Yeah, maybe you do that. With that said, about this game though, I actually think Bears cover 6.5. As a gambler, I would never touch this game, but Trey Lance, the very couple games he started last year with Jimmy G hurt and everything, from what I've seen, yes, you have to show me anything that has impressed me. Yes, he's had a whole off season, preseason working with the ones now. Maybe it will be a little different, but go on the road into Chicago and be a 6.5 point favorite. I can't I can't trust Trey Lance enough to go in there and cover that. So I do like the Bears to cover their spread in this game. With that said, the Niners better defense. They run the ball better. The formula we keep talking about is going to work. Get the job done. They're going to win the game because of that. But boring game, Adam, won't be boring for you because you'll actually be sweating it at the end. Because I do think the Bears will still have a chance, but I'll take a score that Chaz said earlier. We'll get a score like this in this type of game. Give me the Niners 16-13.
Yeah, I mean, another 41.5 over under, so probably ain't going to be too fun. I'm actually with you guys. I think the Bears cover this too. I think 6.5 points on the road is too much for Trey Lance. Honestly, I hope he looks pretty good. Got him in a fantasy league, but I think just week one. I mean, we keep saying it. Week one, there's weird things, and right now, I mean, the Niners they're -6.5 and -120. So I think there's going to be a lot of people back in the Niners because the Bears are projected to be one of the worst teams this season. So, and obviously all the hype behind Trey Lance. I'm just gonna pick the Bears here. Just it's more of a feel, and I'll ride with Adam. But I'll go Niners win this one 23-20.
A little overaction, huh?
Whoa.
Get frisky in Chicago.
Okay. I like it. All right. This next one here, this game actually intrigues me because we got Jaguar team, 2.5 point dogs on the road, got the Commanders a home favorite here. And when we talk about the Commanders, I know me and Chaz last year have spoke highly of their defense. And when you look at it statistically, it was arguably one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't know what the hell happened to them. But with that said, I still think the Commanders have pieces on defense where they're not a playoff team, I don't think, by any means, but their defense is enough to keep them in games. I think if it could work. With that said, the Jags are a team, and Trevor Lawrence is still a guy I buy heavy into that I think is up and coming. I think the Jags have one of the most underrated all seasons. Probably overpaid for Christian Kirk, yes, but they did bring in weapons. They are getting ETN back. And the biggest thing is, too, they bolstered that offensive line. They improved that offensive line. They made sure Trevor Lawrence is to be protected. And if you trust Trevor Lawrence that much, which I think he is a lot better than whatever Urban Meyer showed us from him last year, I think they get a pretty damn good quarterback and a team that's going to be up and coming. So I'm going to take the Jags to go on the road here, win opening day, win week one. I feel like they have a weird, decent history in week one games, too, if you look in the past 5 years. And I think they get the job done here. So Give me Lawrence to come out, maybe be the breakout quarterback, breakout contender this year. I'll take the Jags to win this one 23-20.
Damn. Gank, I thought you were leaning Commanders, so I was really hoping we could bet this one because I'm all on the Jags too. Maybe a little biased because we got Lawrence our QB too. We'll throw that out there. But no, I agree, dude. I agree. The Jags had a good offense season, and not to mention you get Doug Peterson, who has proven that dude knows how to coach quarterbacks. So, say what you want about the Jags and their dysfunctional organization. They got a guy who's won a Super Bowl with maybe the best college football quarterback ever in Trevor Lawrence. Uber talented, number 1 overall pick. I like that recipe. And I think they come out week 1 and show it. Trevor Lawrence, something to prove. I think that's pretty good for Jags fans and the organization. So I like them to go out and win here. Commanders got a weird culture going. It just seems a little bit tough. And I think the Jags win outright. I'm going to go 24-20 Jacksonville.
I wasn't expecting all of us to pick the Jaguars week 1. I can definitely say that. The Jags were the team we faded last year, week 1, when the Texans got their dub. There was a lot of hype behind the Jags and Trevor Lawrence and everything like that, so we faded them. But this year, I'm 100% with you guys here. I love the Jags. And Adam, you said, I think the biggest thing, obviously they added all these playmakers and everything like that, but the biggest thing is he went from Urban Meyer to now Doug Peterson. I think that's the biggest thing that could have happened for him. Obviously, they get all the playmakers on the offensive side. They address their defense in the draft. I think the Jags, I said it last week, I think the Jags will be better than the Titans. I think they're going to come second in that division. I'm high on them. I love the Trevor Lawrence pick, honestly. I think he's going to be really good this year. And I'm going to take the Jags here. I'm going to take them actually pretty easy. I'm going to go 31-20 Jags.
Oh, wow, with the ease, huh? Oh, he's first on the locks, too. That game might come back up. Confident with that pick.
I got ETN in my brother's league, too. So
there you go, yeah.
I like ETN a lot this year. I'm sad I don't have him unless I get him tonight. But, all right. Going to these 4 o'clock games here, and every time there's an AFC West matchup this year, I think it's just going to be fun to talk about. Like I said, if you have fantasy players in the AFC West, play them, start them, especially when they're playing each other, because I think you're just looking at a whole bunch of shootout-type football games when these teams play. With that said, the first one of the year, we got Raiders traveling to LA to play the Chargers. Chargers 3.5-point favorites at home here. Over under 52.5. And if you want to go back to the last week of the season last year, these two teams battled it out. Raiders took it at home, take that last final playoff spot, and Chargers like I said, I think we're in nothing but shootouts when we get to divisional matchups here. But I mean, Herbert has been so good. Eckler is so good. Keenan Allen so good. Mike Williams so good. Yes, the Raiders added Devontae Adams and everything, but the Chargers just have so many pieces. This needs to be a year where they get over the top and get into the playoffs. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to start off hot at home and get the job done. Arguably the most fun football game you can watch this weekend here. Turn it on, watch it if you love points, and give me the Chargers to win and cover, even with that hook, 31-27.
Yeah, I didn't realize that half of my fantasy football team is in this game with Herbert, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow, I believe is my flex. So we'll be watching this one. And I like the points. It sounds good to me. I mean, the Raiders – the thing with the Raiders is they did improve offensively, obviously, and Derek Carr, I think, is the real deal. But their defense is just horrific. I mean, it's just been bad for years. All the draft picks, too, have just not worked. And, the Chargers have improved defense, so I'm curious to see where this game goes. I wouldn't really want to bet this game because I think it's a complete toss-up, but I'm going to take the Raiders with the points, not to win, but to cover, because wasn't this the game that was like the best game ever last season with, week 17 or whatever, week 18 to close it out, right? I mean, So I think it's going to be similar to it. Yeah. I mean, so I'm going to take the Raiders to cover. Chargers find a way to win in a great one. I think it'll be a really good game to watch. Hopefully, I'll go 34-31 Chargers.
Shootout. I'm gonna side with Gank here and take the Chargers. I picked them to win the division. I think just like Gank, and I mean we said it last week. It doesn't matter the matchup in this division. I think every game is gonna be 2.5, 3, or 3.5 points this year, and the over/under is gonna be between probably 50 and 53 in every single game. But I think week one, the Chargers coming off that loss to the same team they lost to last year to miss the playoffs. I think they're going to come out ready to go. They addressed their defense, so that got better. They just paid Mike Williams, and I mean their offense didn't get worse. Herbert just has another year under his belt, so I think they're going to come out ready to play. So I think the Chargers get it done. But like I said, and you guys have said, this division all year is going to be insanely fun to watch. So I'll go Chargers 30-21.
Gank, I don't want to bet this game.
How many do we have?
I don't know how many we differ. Not many, but I really don't want to bet this one. So
we might be going till Thursday. We might be going to Thursday night.
I'll take Gonzo week one.
I know you.
Yeah, you take that all day.
You kidding me?
We only got like 5 games left too, so we'll see what happens here. And
yeah,
if you might be betting this one. I'll bet my Giants if I have to here. It's the Giants 5.5-point dogs on the road heading to Tennessee. Over under 43.5, and another team similar to the Dolphins that I'm fading big time this year is this Titan team. I think their offense is completely one-dimensional when it comes to Derrick Henry. I think defenses are going to figure that out pretty easily. I think you load the box against him, and as much as he's without a doubt the best runner in football, if you don't have room to run, I don't care who you are. It's going to be tough. I think it'll be easy to shut them down. Giants, on the other hand, they have a cake schedule this year. Giants are not a playoff team, but if they win 7 games, looking at their schedule, it wouldn't surprise me. For the first time in a long time, I can say I love the coaching changes they made. It's also the first time in a long time they went out of house to make coaching changes. So hopefully it works, because I do really think it's the best pieces you got, especially at the GM there. I think Joe Shannon's done a great job. I have to pick the Giants to win this game. I am to pick the Titans to find a way to get it all said and done. I'm not saying the Giants are ready to come out, go on the road to a team that's been in the playoffs the past few years or multiple times within the past few years, but 5.5 feels like a lot. I'm a faded Titan guy this year. I don't think the Titans defense, with Vrabel being as head coach, I think that could be better than it is. And hoping the Brian Dable could bring something out in Daniel Jones, even though I think with the quarterback class coming in next year, this is Jones's last season with the Giants. And hopefully Saquon is fully healthy, because I actually am expecting enough for him. Giants stay in it. Won't be enough to go on the road and win in Tennessee, but they definitely cover the 5.5 here. I'll take this game 27-24 Titans.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't guess I'd be opposed to this. I agree with you guys about the Titans fading this year. I think they missed the playoffs. They struggle. They've gotten worse with weapons offensively. A.J. Brown's the real deal. I don't think it happens yet, though. I think Ryan Tannehill's going to come out a little bit something to prove this week. Derrick Henry's going to do his thing. The G-men have a decent defense. I agree again. Brian Dable's a great hire. They got the GM from Buffalo, too, so they're on the same page. I wouldn't be shocked they won some games this year. But this week isn't the week that they put it together, in my opinion. Daniel Jones is broken. I think he's a bad NFL quarterback. And I think the Titans find a way to win this one. Maybe not with ease, but they cover this spread, because right now is the time the Titans will fall. They'll fall in a few, maybe 4 or 8 weeks, something like that. So Derrick Henry has a big day, takes care of business against the Giants at home, wins by a touchdown. I'm going to go 27-20 Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm again going to take the Giants to cover this. And the Titans, a lot of what Gank said. I mean, they're one-dimensional. I mean, when Robert Woods is your number one receiver who's coming off an injury, it's probably not a great sign. So, I mean, whenever the Titans get down this year, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't think Robert Woods is a horrible receiver, but like I said, off an injury, being a number one guy isn't really what the Titans are looking for. The Giants, I am fully aboard the Saquon Barkley revenge tour this year. Got him in 2 leagues, so hopefully he can look like he did in 2018. I just think this game stays close because I don't think the Titans are good. So big day for Saquon. Hopefully Danny Dimes doesn't turn the ball over too much. And I really want to take the Giants to win this game, but I'll give it to the Titans in an ugly one. I'll go Titans 21-20.
I really want to pick the Giants too.
I really do. I know I really do.
I think it's very winnable for them. But
I know you guys hate the Titans, and that's fair.
Giants' offensive coordinator is a passing game coordinator from Kansas City too. Like falling in the pieces this year.
Yeah, you always love the Jays. Do you realize Daniel Jones is still their quarterback?
Yeah, I said probably next year he won't be with the new quarterback class coming in. But if somebody's going to bring it out of him, they got the right coaches there.
I agree. All right, fair enough.
Special teams coach from fucking New England.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, next one here. I think this is another real fun game here. Big weird line here. Cardinals 5.5-point dogs at home against the Chiefs, but you got your total up at 53.5 here. Jazz, you took Kyler Murray yesterday, round one. Big game possibly coming for him against us in our matchup with this Chiefs in a shootout here. Who are you feeling in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I have the Cardinals in the playoffs in the NFC again, and I mean, I don't get this line in at all. I get it's Patrick Mahomes, but give me Kyler and the Cardinals at home here, plus 5.5 all day. I think it is going to be probably the highest scoring game of the weekend because the Chiefs defense is not good and the Cardinals defense really isn't that great either. I know there's no Hopkins for 6 weeks, so this is probably a Marquise Brown big day incoming. Zach Ertz. You got me back on that big gang yesterday. I love me some Zach Ertz this year, but I mean the Chiefs obviously the no Tyreek Hill thing is going to be big. We'll see how their offense looks with Juju and MVS alongside Kelsey, but I think Kyler's going to put up numbers here. Obviously, he just got paid, but I think he's going to come out against a bad defense and put up a shit ton of points. I'm actually going to take the Cardinals to win this game. I'm fading the Chiefs this year, and so let me go get Kyler and the Cards to pull off a week one upset. I'm going to go 34-31 Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know, Chazzy. I guess I'm a hater on the Cardinals, to be fair. So that's I got to start with that.
They always start well, so you got to pick them early in the year.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Cardinals come and win. I agree, 5.5 is a lot here. I think the Chiefs win this game, but when there's smoke, there's fire, and something is off between Kyler, Kingsbury, and that organization. I don't know what it is, but they don't seem to have a very good relationship, in my opinion. Obviously, he just got paid and stuff, but something's weird there. Kyler just doesn't seem very happy, and without D-Hop, I think that they're a little bit more limited offensively. They're a good team. They're a good roster. GM did a great job putting the team together. But I'm not ready to fade the Chiefs here. I mean, they've won so many games these past few years. And I just see Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes really just game planning better than the Cardinals here. And the Chiefs winning this game. I think the Cardinals cover 5.5 is too much for me. I'm not going to give the Chiefs that. Love the over. No surprise there. Chiefs over. I mean, it's just, clockwork. But I think the Chiefs win, Cardinals cover. I'm going to go 34-30.
Yeah, I'm with Chaz. I'm definitely going to take the Cardinals to cover the 5.5 here. I do want to pick them to pull the upset outright too, but I just can't seem to figure it out. Guy I'm banking big on is a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he could fill that Tyreek Hill void almost pretty well. Like, talk about a guy who his first couple of years had balled out with Big Ben before his injuries, and Ben started to downgrade. And I don't think they're going to miss Hill as much as people think. While I am part of kind of the fade Chief crowd coming into the season, still Pat Mahomes, it's still Andy Reid, the perfect coach for him. And I still think they'll find a way to make it work. Defense for the Chiefs has been a question mark for the past couple of years. I still think that's the case too. Like I said, I'm kind of with everybody here. I think it's a fun game. I think it's a shootout. 5.5 does feel like a big number because Kyler Murray is going to be able to answer and put up points against his defense, and it's going to be a fun back and forth. But when it's all said and done, even just go back to that playoff game against the Bills last year, I'll take Pat Mahomes with any type of time at the end of the game to find a way to get it done for them. And I think that's what he does here. And I'll take a fun shootout game, 63 points. Chiefs win, Cardinals cover 33-30.
Sign up for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Adam, back to your division here with the NFC North, the Packers and Vikings, and an intriguing matchup in week one here. Vikings home dogs, 1.5 points here, over under 47.5. No, Packers a popular, likely pick to go win that division, but Vikings slowly becoming a trendy pick to win that division. A lot of people seeing it. I personally think it's possible, even though I'll take the Packers to win that division. Adam, first game between these two is in Minnesota. Vikings underdogs. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, if there's one place that Rodgers has probably struggled in his career, it's been in Minnesota. And I could be remembering incorrectly, but I thought the Vikings won this game last year, lost like a heartbreaker. But either way, they always play them close. I wouldn't be shocked. Also, I'm not going to bet this game. Wouldn't be shocked if Vikings win. Again, I get back to Kirk playing a really good team that's won 14 games each regular season the last 3 years. I think the Packers come out and win here. I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Vikings did. But when push comes to shove in an almost even line, I'm going to take Rodgers in a kind of big game to win this. I'm curious to see how the new receivers are, if they're actually good or if Rodgers is just frustrated and they're struggling. So we'll see. But Vikings defense can't stop the run. I think the Packers run game has a big day, which opens up Rodgers, and then they take care of business here. Close game, good one. But I'm going to go 27-24 Green Bay.
Yeah, I'll take the Packers to win and cover here as well. I mean, I am very curious to see what these receivers do. I got Allen Lazard on a couple teams because I do think there is a chance for him to be wide receiver one. I mean, games Devontae Adams has missed, you can look at Rodgers' numbers with or without Devontae Adams. They really don't change that much. And Lazard was a big beneficiary of catching touchdowns without him, so he is the one guy I'm watching. But with that said, Rodgers, I don't think it matters who the receivers are. He's proven that he can just go out and do his thing. He's that good. He's that talented. He'll get the job done. And as long as he's quarterbacking in this division, it's going to be hard for me to pick against him. So let him keep doing what he's doing. I'm going to do a very similar score to you, Adam. I'll take the Packers to go win this one here, 26-23.
All right, well, I'll be the solo on the Vikings here. I said it last week. I have the Vikings winning this division. And so, honestly, I think this is a must-win game. I know it's week one, but I think the Vikings have to beat the Packers at home if they want to win this division. And I said it last week, too. It's not a knock on the Packers. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're just going to start a little slow. And I think this is a game that they might start a little slow with their offense. And the Vikings, I mean, obviously they've had their whole offense together for a few years now. We see how good it is. Justin Jefferson, I mean, is insane. So I think the Vikings here are going to get the win. I think it's going to be a close game once again. But I think if the Vikings want to win this division, they have to win this game at home against Packers, because obviously going to Lambeau, I don't know when that game is, but it's probably later on the season. Is not going to be easy. So get this win here. Give yourself a shot for the North. I will take the Vikings to win 27-24. I did see one crazy stat, though. I forget how many years it's been, but Rodgers has 38 touchdown passes against the NFC North and no interceptions. Has not thrown one pick. I forget how many years that is over, but 38 tutties to no interceptions.
I don't know, you like that.
Bro, I have this conversation with people like Aaron Rodgers says he owns the Bears. Guess what? He fucking does. So,
Yeah, he does.
it's like you can't argue against facts.
At least you owned him this year.
Yeah, hey, listen, as long now, at least when he beats up on the Bears, I get a little bit of happiness.
Yeah, they're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Somebody that's been, I mean, Rodgers, obviously, he's something else, but your love for Rodgers is up there with like some more than other. And I've always agreed with you. Like, I think his skill and talent is arguably the best we've ever seen. For you to never actually own him in fantasy blew my mind.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it was a conscious like trying not to. Like, I guess I wouldn't put him on top of my board, but it just kind of never happened. Maybe I was a little mad about the situation, so I just didn't pick him. But I mean, I'm happy he fell to me. So that's all I got to say.
That's fair. All right, let's get into the primetime games here. Sunday night, another good one here. Tom Brady and the Bucks traveling to Dallas. Dallas, another home underdog here. They're getting 2.5 points at home. Over unders 51. And Adam, you're the one that rode Dallas to win the NFC East this year. I don't hate it as somebody who's probably spent my first 4 seasons of the show riding Dallas. I think it's the first time I've faded them for winning that division. I still think there are pieces there, and they definitely have the potential to win the division. With that said, in a game like this, I just trust Tampa Bay's roster and Tom Brady and everything about them more. I do think it is a winnable game for Dallas at home, but Bucks and Tom Brady almost feels like Tom Brady's getting questioned for the first time in his career about stuff. Like, does he really want to play? What's all going on? And for some reason, somehow Tom Brady has almost something to prove. And he's got something to prove in prime time to start the new season. He's going to come out swinging. He's going to get the job done. Bucks win this game 27-20.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year this was a primetime early game, and the Bucks won by a field goal. I see it very similar here. Brady primetime. Cowboys will put up points, but Brady will do one drive at the end, slice them and dice them, and just kind of take care of business here. Not much really to add to that. It'll be a fun game. I love the over because I don't really like either defenses, and I love both quarterbacks. I think Dak comes out and plays well like he has done. And the Cowboys, I think Zeke has a big day too, but I don't know. I mean, it's tough because you got the Bucs rush defense. So I think the Bucs find a way to win here. I like the points. I'm going to go 31-24 Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm with the Bucs here. This was game 1 last year of the NFL season.
Yeah, that's right.
An amazing game, but Dallas did end up losing it. And Amari Cooper did have 3 touchdowns that week. And now Amari Cooper is not there. So it is CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz. And that's about it until Michael Gallup decides to come back for Dallas. And obviously they have Zeke. But, I mean, I'll take the Bucs with all their playmakers all day. I mean, it even sounds like Chris Godwin's going to actually play week 1 now, which is pretty crazy. But, Brady, people are kind of doubting Brady. So I'm expecting him to come out Sunday night and play well. I'm going to take the over here too, but Bucks are our NFC pick. I think they're going to come out hot and like the points. So I'm going to go 33-27 Bucks.
Let's go Bucks. And one last game Monday night, and you all tell me how the NFL just doesn't figure this out. But
what's going on here?
But you put Baker against Cleveland, you put Russell Wilson against Seattle to start the season. I mean, I don't know how you get it. I don't know how it comes to that, but that's the case. With that said, Seattle's 6.5-point dogs at home here against their old quarterback. Over under 44.5. And I'm actually short and sweet on this one. There's nothing about this Seattle team that I like as a West Virginia guy and a Geno guy. He is not your starting quarterback, let's be honest. And your next best option in Drew Lock is also not your starting quarterback, too. I think Denver, for years, has been missing a quarterback that they found in Russell Wilson. They got a lot of talent on that offense to help him out with. Defense can be improved, but there is still pieces there. But when it's all said and done, Denver is just simply the better team, more talented. I think Russell Wilson goes into his old stadium with ease, no problem whatsoever. Denver wins this game with ease. I'll take them 27-13.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. Russ has got something to prove. I think we've seen a lot that good quarterbacks are more the reason of winning than a good coach. Pete Carroll's a good coach, but this has just got Russ big game, something to prove all over it. I don't know if Seattle's going to be a very good team. They might have the first overall pick this year, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm going to take Russ to have a big day. Broncos take care of business. Maybe close early because it's a primetime game, tough place to play, but I'll go 27-17, Denver.
Yeah, I'll be quick here too. Although it does feel like 99% of everyone that knows football is taking the Broncos, but I think this is just going to be a game Vegas gets screwed with because it's not even like Russ is going into like some hostile environment. He's going to the field he played at for all those years. So I think he's going to come out. I think they're going to play well. The Seahawks realistically should not want to win any games this year, so they could go draft a quarterback. But I'll take the Broncos to win here easy. I'll go 27-10.
Yeah, that seems to be the pick. Like I said, I think they do this with these, but all right, boys, we threw it all at them. What are you thinking here, bud?
Oh, do I get to start?
I'll let you pick first. You're picking last in our actual lock, so I'll let you try to find something with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I'll bet Thursday. Give me something to root for. I like that. Unless you got something you're really interested in.
-2.5. I won't think twice about it.
Let's go, Gonzo.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, I'm cool. I mean, I think it's a fun game to watch. Unless there's something else you were really. I don't think we disagreed.
No, I'm fine with that game, honestly.
Like we can do Giants Titans, but that's a lot less fun to bet. So let's just bet this one.
All right. Yeah, I'll gladly take Buffalo -2.5. Now, as for our locks, Chaz, you said we had an incredible finish to the season last year, didn't we?
Yeah, our last 5 weeks we went 33-12.
See, we're very good at closing very strong. It's always a couple weeks, but our finish is usually better than how bad our start is too. So it makes up. Usually adds to a winning record there. Chaz, you led the overall standings between the three of us last year, so you get first dibs this year. Where are you going with your three locks?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take it's week 1. And I always say crazy shit happens week 1. So I'm gonna take 3 dogs week 1. Number 1, I'm gonna go with the Jags +2.5.
Oh, there goes one pick.
I know we all like that one. And I had them winning pretty comfortably. Pick 2, you guys disagreed with me, but I'm all in on the Vikings this week. I'm gonna take the Vikings +1.5. I think they win. And then my third pick, I picked them outright at home against the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Cardinals +5.5.
Just liking that Arizona one for myself personally. Thought I might get that. With that said, I'm going to keep the dog train rolling to start mine. I'll go to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, 6.5 in that division. Feels like a lot of points, and with that defense from Pittsburgh too, I love that number. Like I do have Cincy winning. I think Pitt can stay in that. But now I got to throw the dogs off of here. I'm taking 2 favorites here. I'm going to go to a team that me and Chaz are high on, and I hate to do this, but give me the Eagles -3.5. As a Giants fan, it always kills me when I have to take the Eagles here. I do think they take care of Detroit. I do think they're that much better. And then I'm going to go to the game we just talked about. Give me Denver and Russell Wilson -6.5 on the road. I hate to take that many points on the road in Seattle, but Seattle is that bad this year. Russell Wilson takes care of business, no problem.
All right, yeah. Gank, it took a few from me. I respect it. I like that. But we're gonna start. I'm actually having this one felt to me. I'm gonna take the Ravens -6.5. I feel like, especially with that hook, I don't see how the Jets keep it with Joe Flacco within 6.5 points. So we're taking that. We're going to run with that in the third slot. We appreciate it, boys. Let it fall.
Hey, so you know I don't like locking the Ravens, Russell.
Yeah, that's true. I got lucky there, actually. That's probably why, yeah. I'm going to go to some high-scoring games here. I'm going to take the Chiefs-Cardinals over 53.5. I know that's really high, those points. I get it. But I just see that game being high-scoring. And, for all I hate on the Cardinals, they're going to put up points. I mean, that's just how the game goes. So we'll see how that. And then finally, this hook scares me a little, but I am high on the Colts as the boys are. So I'm going to take a -7.5 against the Texans. JT has a big day for the boys.
I like that, honestly. I mean, Matt Ryan and Pittman are going to have a day, even though I can't have Pittman. I just drafted Michael Pittman right now, though, so.
Attaboy.
So I need him to have that day. I'll buy into him.
So he's back to having a good day now. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is I need Matt Ryan to have a good year, and the only way he has a good year is if everything I believe about Michael Pittman happens too. So,
yeah,
which I feel strong about. But all right, boys. Well, we're back.
We're back, baby.
We are back. Week 1 picks are in. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we can start fucking better than we always do, because it is always a brutal start for us before we really turn it on come like week 10. But hey, let's get a hot start this year, boys.